Okay, so get ready because today we're diving deep into the world of the Greenland shark.
Sounds fun.
This creature, uh,
Yeah,
it puts our lifespans to shame.
that's for sure.
Imagine living for 400
I
years.
know, it's wild. We're talking about a birthday cake with enough candles to start a bonfire.
Right, and the crazy thing is they just live their lives in the deep ocean, not caring about,
Yeah.
all the stuff that we worry about up here.
It's incredible.
Yeah, and what's really cool is that we're getting a peek inside their instruction manual for extreme longevity, thanks to some new research on their genome.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable. Mapping the Greenland shark genome is like getting a backstage pass to the secrets of the longest lived vertebrate on Earth.
Okay, but before we get ahead of ourselves,
Mm.
we got to acknowledge this is a preprint, right? It's like a sneak peek of the science before it's officially gone through peer review.
Yeah, that's right. It's still early stages, but honestly, that makes it even more exciting, don't you think?
Totally. It's like we're getting in on the ground floor of a major discovery.
Exactly.
So imagine this. We've got this genetic blueprint for extreme longevity right in front of us. What is the most mind-blowing thing the researchers found in this shark's DNA?
Where to even begin?
What's the secret sauce to living for centuries?
Well, one of the biggest surprises was the sheer amount of what they call jumping genes in the Greenland shark's genome.
Oh, jumping genes. I've heard of those. They sound kind of chaotic.
Yeah, so jumping genes, or transposable elements to use their more technical name, are these little snippets of DNA that have the ability to move around the genome.
Oh.
And in most animals, these jumping genes are kept under tight control because they can cause instability and actually mess things up.
Okay, so not something you want a lot of if you're aiming for a long and healthy life, right?
Right.
So why on earth would the Greenland shark, which lives for centuries, have all these jumping genes?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. The Greenland shark actually has an unusually high number of these jumping genes, over 70% of its genome, in fact.
Wow, 70%? Are you serious?
Yeah, it's the highest of any shark that's been sequenced so far. And instead of wreaking havoc, the researchers actually believe that the Greenland shark might be using these jumping genes to their advantage.
How do they do that?
Well, they think that the shark might be using these jumping genes to boost DNA repair, which is like the body's natural defense against aging.
Wait, so these jumping genes, they're like the bad boys of DNA, right?
Yeah, kind of.
And you're telling me they could be a secret weapon for longevity.
That's what the research suggests. It really challenges our understanding of how genes and aging work.
It's like discovering that a little bit of controlled chaos might actually be the key to a longer life.
Precisely.
So is there anything else in the Greenland shark's DNA that might contribute to their epic lifespan? Or are jumping genes the star of the show right now?
Well, the jumping genes are definitely a major player, but there's another intriguing finding that's worth mentioning, and it has to do with a protein called P53.
Ah, P53. Now that one rings a bell. It's like a bodyguard for our cells, right? Protecting them from becoming cancerous.
Exactly. You got it. Yeah, it's like a tumor-fighting superhero.
Yeah.
And it's not just in sharks either. This P53 protein, you find it across a whole bunch of different species, including us humans.
Right. So it's kind of a big deal when it comes to staying healthy for a long time.
Absolutely. And what's really fascinating is that the Greenland shark, they've got this unique alteration in their P53 gene.
What do you mean an alteration?
Well, it's like this. They found an insertion of an amino acid that makes the Greenland shark's P53 different from other sharks, even ones that are closely related to it.
Interesting. So it's not just about having P53, it's about having a slightly tweaked version of it. Could that be what makes their cancer defenses so strong?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? We don't have all the answers just yet, but this finding definitely hints that even small variations in these crucial longevity genes could have a big impact on how long you live.
So it's like each species has its own special recipe for a long life.
You could say that. It's like aging is a big puzzle, right? And each species holds a few unique pieces.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
So the Greenland shark has its jumping genes and its modified P53. But what about other long-lived animals? You mentioned the bowhead whale earlier.
Yeah.
They can live for over 200 years.
Right?
Do they have those same pieces to the puzzle, or do they find a different way to build their longevity?
That's what's so cool about studying longevity across different species. They often find different paths to the same goal.
You mean like different ways to achieve a long lifespan?
Exactly. Like the bowhead whale, for instance. They don't have the same crazy amount of jumping genes as the Greenland shark.
So they found a different strategy.
Yeah, but they do have a unique variant of a gene called ERCC1, which is involved in repairing DNA damage. And get this, whale sharks. They can also live for over a century, and they have duplications of genes that are all about tumor suppression.
So it's like evolution was experimenting with all these different genetic tweaks, seeing what worked best for each species.
Precisely. It's like each species has its own unique genetic toolkit for extending lifespan.
That makes those super long lifespans even more impressive, right?
Mhm.
Each one of these animals, they crack the code in their own way.
Absolutely. And the more we learn about these adaptations, the more pieces of the longevity puzzle we gather.
It's like having a detective's board with clues from all these different species pointing us towards the secrets of aging.
I like the way you think.
Okay, I have to ask, what does this all mean for us humans? Can we, like, bottle up some Greenland shark magic and live for centuries too?
Well, I hate to break it to you, but it's not quite as simple as just borrowing a shark's genes. These are incredibly complex processes that took millions of years to evolve.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But here's the exciting part. Even though we can't just copy their adaptations directly, understanding how these animals achieve extreme longevity at a genetic level, it gives us a powerful roadmap for our own research.
So it's about the bigger picture, right?
Mm-hmm.
Learning from their successes, even if we can't directly replicate them.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah,
like they gave us this treasure map, but instead of leading to gold, it leads to the secrets of living longer. And who knows what we'll find along the way, right? Every time we look at the genome of one of these amazing creatures, we uncover a whole new part of the longevity puzzle.
It really makes you wonder what other secrets are out there, hidden in the ocean, or even like in our own backyards.
Totally.
So if you were a researcher studying this, what would you want to investigate next about the Greenland shark and its incredible ability to live so long?
Oh, that's a tough one. There's so many possibilities. I think personally, I would love to dive deeper into that P53 alteration.
Yeah, what about it?
Well, how does that single amino acid insertion actually change how the protein works? Does it actually make the Greenland shark more resistant to cancer? And if so, could we learn something from that to maybe even improve our own defenses against cancer?
Ooh, that's a good one. Or what about those dumping genes?
Mm-hmm.
We talked about how they might help with DNA repair, but do they do anything else?
Yeah.
Maybe they're involved in other cellular processes that we haven't even considered yet.
Yeah, you're totally right. It's definitely a possibility. And then there's the whole ecological context, too. The Greenland shark lives in this extreme environment.
Yeah.
It's cold, it's dark, it's deep. How does that play into their longevity?
Interesting.
Do they have special adaptations that help them deal with the stress of living in that environment? And could those adaptations also be contributing to their long lifespans?
That's like every answer just leads to more questions. It's amazing.
It's science for you.
Really makes you realize how much we still don't know.
Ab-
Well, I think it's safe to say that this deep dive has only just scratched the surface of the Greenland shark's secrets to a long and healthy life. But you know what? That's what makes it so exciting.
I agree.
There's a whole universe of discovery out there waiting for us, both in the depths of the ocean and in the intricate world of DNA. So who knows what incredible adaptations and longevity secrets we'll uncover next? I can't wait to find out.
Me neither.